Mike
Kenya,
Huh?
in Kenya I'm sorry, I'm not ridiculing my country, but for people to check that a mic is working, they do this.
Yeah. Testing 1, 2.
Actually start with this, then mic test 1, 2. How many leagues or Premier Leagues has Arsenal won? Why does it look like it's a really, really sad thing? To a point, there's a guy in Kakamega who committed suicide.
Is that right?
Oh no.
Yes, it was on Twitter. Yes.
Okay. Can we fact check?
Yeah.
Daisy, can you just fact check that one?
Check that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And of course, in Kenya, we've had a lot of cases of football fans committing suicide.
But
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, the thing is not the game itself. It's all the betting underlying the games. Right. So you place a big bet. At this point, maybe you've used your rent.
So it's a man-related suicide.
I don't know. I don't know the facts about that particular case.
You'd have to have your identity pretty well tied up with Arsenal to commit suicide.
Right.
For that particular reason.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I'm donning an Arsenal T-shirt.
But you're not a fan?
But
you just like the
I've not
you like
sat
the look?
1 second watching football.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Even the World Cups?
Never,
ever?
Never. I actually could watch rugby.
And is this is the kid of a Kenyan guy who plays for Arsenal? Still?
No, it's a cousin's. It's a cousin's souvenir.
Cousin.
It's a souv.
Cousin. Is that what you tell all the...
Cousin.
Is that what you tell all the...
Okay. Who's the most famous Kenyan internationally? That's ever
for
lived?
Whatever.
Soccer player?
No, any.
Wangari Maathai.
Wangari Maathai.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one
I
I'm going
think it
with.
would be Lupita.
Well, that's because it's current. But
Yes.
yeah. But yeah.
Wouldn't it be?
Okay.
Who else would be in the running?
Then now
apart
you
from
have to
Wangari
give a
Maathai?
category. You have to give them
I'm just
category.
I mean, you
Any.
think about
Because
like
someone...
Eliud Kipchoge.
There we
beat
go.
the
Now we're
sub
talking.
2 hour,
Yes, that's
Okay.
actually that's
marathon.
probably the answer now, right?
Yeah.
Actually, it would be a marathon, wouldn't it? Would it?
Is no, I think it.
Nobody
You might
knows
And now
Wangari
as you said
Maathai.
Lupita, now I'm crossing over. And
Nobody
now
knows Wangari. I mean, a lot of people know Wangari Maathai.
people don't
in-
know Nobel Prize
out-
winners like
outside of Kenya, only like a certain kind of person really interested
A
in
niche
Africa.
dude?
Yeah, a niche.
who do you think is the most famous Kenyan?
Well, now you said Kipchoge, that one stuck. I think that right now that would seem to me.
But who else? Who else crossed your mind?
First time you thought of that question.
Presidents?
I don't think so. Like, if you went to the average American and said, like, who's a Kenyan, even a politician,
If you say Kenyan,
they
they're gonna
wouldn't be
say
able
running.
to pull Jomo Kenyatta out of their ass.
No,
They would not.
but they're gonna talk about some marathon. Well, they
They would know.
know
They would
knows-
maybe know a marathon
They
like
wouldn't know
Kipchoge
names, but
because that was such a
Yeah, you're right.
That was a
event.
feat.
That sub 2
Yeah.
hour thing.
That was a feat.
Because all the other Kenyan runners, I think for like an American, they all kind of run together. You know, it's like one big Kenyan is
It's-
just won
yeah,
every
like
marathon
a
for the last
Kenyan.
40 years, right?
Yeah. If I'm ever gonna watch a football match, well, of course I have watched a few World Cup. Of course, you'll watch the final, a few games here and there. But I did watch the Women's World Cup.
Yeah?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah? You
Yeah.
liked it?
Who
Love
won
it.
Who won it?
Spain.
Spain won the Women's
Yeah,
World Cup.
went to the final with England. Nail-biting match.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So why
What
are
was
you
that-
in it?
Name of that one TikToker who got really famous right at the beginning of the pandemic. She used to eat crisps while she was talking about stuff. What was her name?
Oh.
She came and went. If
Elsa
none of you guys
Majimbo.
Elsa
Elsa
Majimbo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of liked her. She was kind of funny, her act.
Yeah, she's
For a
still
little while. Yeah.
she's still producing content and she's
Yeah.
Can I
still
have
Oh, okay.
a
pretty good.
different
Am I not
opinion?
supposed
I
to?
think this is a like what's the Swahili proverb for what's a like umgema sifi nyumbani, like a proverb.
Or a prophet is not known in his home.
Yeah,
he's
like
not
there's even an English
appreciated.
phrase for it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I just think it's actually really interesting content, but it's so like we relate to it so much, like we are so similar to it, like it's the next person, but then it's niche to someone from outside Kenya.
Okay.
I don't know, that's my read.
Okay.
What do you think?
I
You
don't
can
want...
throw shade at Elsa Majimbo?
No,
Right here on
no.
the podcast? Throw it down.
I'll
So.
probably just say I'm not a comedy fan. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Which is an interesting okay.
Yeah.
So would you have
So that's what... Yeah. Would I?
would you have gone for Dave Chappelle show?
Truth be told, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I would not
Did you
buy
know
a
who Dave
ticket.
Chappelle was before he came to Kenya and it made such a buzz?
I'd heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd heard about him, about some controversial stand-up comedy he did.
Okay.
What did you hear?
About LGBTQ.
Yeah.
But I didn't go much into it.
Okay.
Tell you
Okay.
what, even normal movie comedy, I would
Yeah.
not watch.
Oh, really?
No, never.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were familiar with his work, but are you a fan?
Well, not entirely. Like,
Do you like some? Does he make you laugh sometimes?
so I watched it and I was thinking I'm only watching this because it is recommended reading.
Okay.
Like before your
Yeah.
next and I had to watch. So the Chappelle thing birthed what is called the carbon offset special.
Okay.
So after his the podcast that caused a lot of
What are you talking about?
brouhaha,
Which podcast?
the podcast where he got in trouble with the trans community.
Oh, was it a podcast?
Not podcast,
The
special,
Special.
Netflix
Special, yeah.
special, I mean.
Right. Okay.
So after all that, so Netflix was like, okay, what do we do then? So they
Right.
they had a special called the Gender Agenda.
Okay.
Hannah Gadsby's The Gender Agenda. So after watching that, I quickly watched that like to cleanse my palate.
I
And,
see.
yeah, and get.
Okay.
You are a big fan.
But
of
that
Dave.
I'm
would
a
be
big
an
fan. Yeah, I'm a
interesting
huge fan
person
of,
to meet, though.
Chappelle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you a big fan?
I don't know. Like, I find like his story, like recently, like it's less of the. I never watched him when he was on Comedy Central and all that stuff.
Okay.
But like the way he does his comedy now, which is like storytelling from his life, and he just weaves like really interesting stuff in. That's just really funny and really interesting. I don't know.
What did you like the most from his special, The Dreamer?
Well, that one, The Dreamer, is like that one at the end when he talks about like the one with the more powerful dream wins. Yeah? That one, and that was like what Daisy. I was pushing Daisy for when she wrote the letter to Dave Chappelle to invite him onto this podcast
Actually,
today.
can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Can we talk
Can we
about
talk
that?
about that?
Yeah, like we've gone to all lengths, and
Yeah.
let me tell you, as a person who doesn't really like comedy, I'd like to have, a sit down with someone like that and just
Yeah.
have a conversation and
Yeah.
have a first introduction.
Yeah.
And find them interesting. So we were thinking of having him on our show.
Well, we invited him on the show.
We did
We
invite him.
invited him on the show.
Through a
We
handwritten
were
letter,
hoping
right?
he would be sitting here today
Yes,
with us.
right
this
now.
very place.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been an
Yeah,
interesting
and we
experience.
wrote-
David, next time.
Yeah.
Do you not like him because of his the way he talks about LGBT issues?
Well, not entirely. Also, with something like comedy, like you need to connect with someone, and I don't have and comedy, stand-up comedy is something that I'm getting into. I wouldn't say that I'm a stand-up comedy
Right.
big fan. Like I've been watching stand-up comedy for a long time.
Right.
Like I'll watch stand-up comedy because I found someone watching stand-up comedy, and I'm gonna get a few laughs.
Right.
And some Netflix specials have also like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice, like, I'm going to watch it and then.
Okay.
So it's not like someone that was 100, like, on the lookout for. But then he did come. I knew about Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Like, you had to be living under, well, I guess
Did you find
are
it? You
living
watched The
under a
Dreamer.
rock.
Did you find it offensive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I did
Okay.
find. I okay, and so I get the spiel. Like after watching a few, after watching a few comedy stand-ups, like I get the spiel. Like it's making fun, like of interesting aspects of our communities.
Right.
Making fun, like especially if you see crowd work, like when you see crowd work in progress,
Yeah.
you'll see that they are actually going in on someone and actually talking about like probably stuff that they would be insecure about,
Right.
and laughing about and having a laugh about that. And I get his spiel is that, oh come on, it's a joke,
Right.
like lighten up. So but at the same time, I don't have to sit there and listen to that. I don't have to I don't
Sure,
have to
of
press
course,
play.
of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
I only
thing,
asked you to watch it because I thought he might respond to our letter.
yeah,
and be on the
he show, of
podcast.
course he will show
So-
up, and then we're talking about how we haven't watched any of his shows.
His
That would
shows,
have
we
been
don't even know
really
who you
bad.
are.
We don't.
And-
So
Yeah.
okay, I guess what I was saying is I think the underlying problem is that because of his popularity, and he is a popular person,
Yeah.
and a lot of people connect with him, a lot of people relate to him, a lot of people find whatever he's saying is very funny.
Yeah.
But the problem is platforming that kind of a message, like normalizing that kind of a message.
I see.
And it's and that's where the money is gonna go, because capitalism. Like
Sure.
if Netflix wants to
Yeah.
get a bunch of eyeballs,
Yeah.
they'll be more likely. Like
Yeah.
the reason why we have the special agenda is because, okay, fine, what do you guys want then?
Right.
Which is
Yeah.
which is why Hannah calls it. I like how we talk
This is
about
your
these
other
people.
favorite comedian, Hannah. Tell
Hannah
me the full
Gadsby.
name. You can't guess.
Yeah.
We'll link to it. Yeah.
It
Daisy?
talks about it as the carbon offset show, because like the carbon
Carbon
offset,
show. Okay.
it's like how people are raising down a forest and then planting a tree, and then we're like, yeah, we are carbon neutral or we are carbon negative. So
Right.
that's exactly what Netflix did. So,
Right.
but
I see.
yeah, what is that about?
I see. Okay, interesting. And what did they think at the Kempinski when you delivered the letter? Did they say anything back to you, or you just dropped it off?
Yeah, I just went to Kempinski and I have a letter for you guest. I made sure I dressed like an Uber driver.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was not
How
all
do you-
made
I'm
up.
How do you dress like
an Uber
how is
driver?
that?
I'm sorry, Uber
Yeah.
drivers. I was literally dressed, but
Yeah.
I made sure I didn't have any makeup on. I was just in my
Yeah.
jumps, whatever, cool cardigan,
That's
tracksuit.
Yeah.
that's very sketchy.
And
And did you just leave
and
right away?
I just drove in and I told them, because you have to go for parking.
Uh-huh.
I told them, no, let me just park at the entrance. I'm just delivering this letter. They're like, to the lobby? Yes. Then they walked me, delivered the letter. This is for your guest. Who? Dave. Before they said anything, I'd
You already
Lost.
turned and
Right.
walked away.
out.
Yeah, because you don't want to
Like,
hear like
I
he's
don't
not-
want to hear. Yeah, I
some,
don't.
like, we don't have any
Like we
record.
don't have a Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, just
in
leave it,
this
'cause maybe it'll
hotel.
get to
It's
him.
your business to decide if you have him or not.
Yeah, I don't care what you do with it otherwise.
And it's
So
Anyway, he didn't come on the podcast, but
Yeah.
maybe next time.
Yeah.
why did we settle on the Kempinski?
we're just guessing.
Because it's a really nice hotel that has balconies, and he's a smoker, so he would want to stay in a place. If he stayed at a hotel, I think he'd probably stay there.
Okay.
He might have stayed somewhere else. I have no idea.
I think he
wouldn't
was.
have a
I
clue.
think he
Yeah.
stayed
couldn't
in.
find out.
I think he stayed in a boutique garden somewhere in Kitusuru, surrounded by trees,
Some
tall
nice
trees,
Airbnb in
and
Karen.
some open, like
What
a
would make you
grassy,
think that? How
a
would
grassy patch that he can walk out and
Like he was.
smoke.
She's trying to say he was hosted somewhere,
It could be. Who knows?
or in a car in
we gotta try,
Karen
but you
with
also delivered one
horses,
to the comedy
just-
club, yeah?
Yeah.
So,
We would
yeah.
have dropped another one at the Karen County Club.
Yeah.
If he watches this, I hope he feels the love.
that was a concerted
worked
effort.
hard, eh?
You know what was
Didn't work.
interesting? What was interesting though for me, like about the whole thing,
Tell me.
was how like Chad was excited about this.
yeah.
So excited. I thought we had a real shot. I mean, I think we did.
No,
We
like
probably
It was
did. The
small.
one I dropped at Louis Leakey, we never know. I mean,
You never know.
Yeah.
You got to try
I,
stuff.
I liked the fact
So
that
who's going to be our...
no. Okay, I liked how
the drive.
we do not have a single podcast out at the time.
Yes.
It's none of them is out.
Right.
But I liked how you are all in
Yeah.
terms of like, yeah, we're getting Dave Chappelle. Like we
Yeah, I don't see
have-
why he wouldn't want to be on this podcast.
I liked where you are in your mind.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I aspire to be at
Yeah.
that point
Yeah.
where I
Right.
believe it's audacity. Like it's a big fucking dream.
Or another way to say it
And
is
running
Daisy's sister called it creepy, is what she called
It's
it.
creepy.
Yeah.
The fact that we showed up at perhaps his hotel.
Ooh, did you tell anyone
It's
else?
very
Anyway, it's going on air, so it's all right.
It's
Yeah,
it's
Maribel
very
knew.
stalkerish.
And did you tell them I was the person behind the creepiness?
Well, I said,
Yeah,
I
actually,
said
why
Daisy
didn't
wrote
why
it and
didn't
Sharon
you
delivered
deliver
it.
the letter?
Okay, because there's a bunch of white American guys who want him on their podcasts. But you guys, Daisy, Sharon, we got a shot.
But why didn't RK deliver them?
Oh, I don't care. You could have delivered. You weren't speaking when we were having this discussion. You weren't speaking up.
Well,
Okay,
was-
fine.
She was feeling.
You would
the
also delivered a
cringe.
supplementary letter about like your displeasure with his work.
Well,
Like, included a
no,
side
not
note.
really. Like, no, I was excited. Like, I would love to have a conversation with
It'd
him.
be fun.
I would love to have a
Yeah.
conversation
So
with him.
who should we have as our first guest? Because it's kind of like after Dave Chappelle kind of rejected us.
Well, I don't think Shix is gonna be.
Yeah, do you think Shix?
Why haven't you delivered letters to Shix?
Chicks.
Yeah, I
Sapienza.
don't know. With Dave
That would-
Chappelle, it was
that
time
would be an
sensitive.
easy one. Like
Shix,
in
I'll
shows
get a hold of
or
that one
content,
anytime in good time. Yeah.
Oh my
Who is
God.
it? Who is it you want to have on?
Who do I want to have on? So many people. I have a list.
Sharon.
Oh yeah.
Who do you want to have on? Name a name. Don't say a list.
A name.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sharon.
This
You
will not get
guys-
me arrested.
You guys can't
Ruto.
come. Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Flat
that's a good
straight,
one.
Ruto.
Yeah.
Just have so many
Do you think
questions.
he'll do a podcast? We talked
Yeah.
about
Oh,
this
yeah.
last time. Yeah. Is this too much recurrent podcast topic?
About who we want to have on?
Exactly.
Yeah, I
think
guess.
so. Yeah.
Ruto for sure.
Yeah.
Ruto for sure.
Yeah. Head, tail, Ruto.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have so many questions.
Damn our mobile spares.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so my name is like she's sleeping. She's even going to fall. We're paying you to
South
sleep,
African
man.
Parliament's the best.
Yeah.
The
Is our parliament that
accent is
entertaining? Do we
amazing.
film our parliament?
We do sometimes,
Okay.
especially
I never see
budget
clips.
reading and yeah.
I never see funny clips. Did we just
Specific
not have
things.
funny politicians?
There is a lot.
Yeah?
I'll send you for Millie Mabona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
when she's telling a fellow MP, "I'm pretty. Don't you think I'm pretty?"
Oh, nice.
I think they were supposed to wear a kitenge thing, a kitenge fashion.
But
I'll
they
send
even
it to
have
you.
themed parliament.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
that is,
they do.
that is
I
so
went
their
to
office.
at Mateo's like graduation sort of ceremony in England last weekend. There was a Kenyan student because I recognized the last name as a Kenyan name, as a Kikuyu name, and so I went up to her and then I met her mom, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I did blah 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 blah. What do you do? Oh, I'm a senator. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
In
I
Kenya?
pulled out the 1,000 shilling note. I was like, "Do you work here?" Like pointed to the
No, you
parliament.
did not.
No, I thought of it later, but I should have because I had 1,000
Which would have
shilling.
been a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I can't tell you
Did
who
you
she
remember
was.
the name?
Yeah, I know exactly who she is, but we won't talk. We
Oh,
won't
okay.
gossip people on the podcast.
It's okay. You can say the
Okay.
name. We can cut that out.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah.
We want to see where our tax is going.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was fun.
To high
That was
school
fun.
in England.
Yeah,
What's going on TikTok?
not much. This week, not much. I think I was just focused on the South Africa elections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
the
think it's
results
so
is
interesting that
I'm
they
a bit
had
disappointed.
11-ish candidates. How many candidates?
It's a lot, man.
That is so much
Yeah.
choice. I loved that for them.
What?
Yeah.
That's us. It's the thing about that is it splits your votes. You see,
Yeah.
I'll tell you for a fact, like in Nyanza, there's usually a domination of Raila Odinga party. And as soon as other people realized, oh, there's a KANU, oh, there's a UDA, so it splits your votes.
Yeah.
You just
As it should.
monopoly is nice when
No,
it's your
as
favorite
it
candidate.
should.
Yes, when you're in the control of the monopoly, it's a very, very good thing. If you get to operate the expressway for the next 20 years, that's a beautiful thing, unregulated.
Yeah.
No. I like that they had like 11 candidates.
So there's this guy whose license was taken away,
Driver's license.
driver's license.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think he committed a traffic offense.
Driving what?
License.
License. You've got an extra N.
I
in your
got a lot of
license.
N's and
Yeah.
R's. So he was driving. He got a traffic offense. He got into a traffic offense, and was supposed to appear in court. But I think he was allowed to appear in virtual court. So then he was asked to turn his camera on.
I don't like
And
that
then
this is
there's
going-
a judge. So there's a split screen. So the first one shows the judge, and that's him. And he's telling the judge, "Oh, let me park a little bit. I'm parking at my doctor's place just now. Let me park." Then they all sit quiet and wait. And then the judge is like, "Are you stationary now?" "Oh yeah, yes, I have parked." Then it's like, "Are you driving?"
Yeah, is this he's here for a traffic
on
offense
to have
and
his
he's on his phone while
suspended
he's
license.
in court.
Then when he was asked,
Oh,
"Are you
wait, he doesn't
driving?"
even have a
he doesn't have a
license.
license.
Yes.
It's like he's being in court.
Then he says, "Are you driving?" "Yes." And then he realized, I just
Yeah. And he just revoked his bail and said report to
and
report
you're
to jail
told
at 6 p.m.
Yeah,
tonight.
report to jail at 6
Because he
p.m.
had like bail for
Report
We are
to
here for
jail
your
at
Yeah, he had,
6
like, bonds.
p.m.
Yeah.
yeah, he
Are you
bonded
driving
out.
without a license?
Yeah, license driving without a license.
License. Oh, that was so funny. My God.
Report to jail at 6 p.m. Which jail? Industry? Like what? How do I even
It was in
respond to
America.
that?
It was an American.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that cannot
And it was a black
happen in
guy. It
Kenya.
was a black guy and a black judge. It was kind of funny. actually.
Kenyans drive
Yeah.
around without licenses.
Yes, we do.
A lot.
You know what? Are we allowed? What if we admit to crimes on the podcast? My license,
Do
my
not.
license expired like 2 years ago, and I just haven't quite. Actually, I was at NTSA today. This is a hypothetical for entertainment purposes.
Report
Yeah.
to jail at
At
6 p.m.
In fact, at 4 p.m.
Yeah?
Yeah, earlier.
You think
So I
the
start cooking for-
DCI is going to listen to the Baada Kazi podcast?
Who knows?
Maybe in 10
Yeah.
years and you'll have a valid one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask for forgiveness.
By the time they realize something called a podcast, they should not come for me.
No, those guys are on top of things.
Oh, yeah?
Haven't you seen their Twitter account, their X account?
Which one? The
The
police?
DCI. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff are they posting?
Pretty vibrant.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I'm sure they have
post
a Gen
crime
Z.
stories that will that will rival the top crime podcasts.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Like scary
actually
crime stories?
actually told very
ones they've
nicely, like
ones they've
in
solved?
comedy. Yeah,
They've solved them.
yeah, and tell it
Yeah.
tell it in
And
a very
sometimes
humorous
they're
ways.
just so, like, they give so nice jokes. Like,
Yeah.
there's a guy who has, there's a plant that looks like a weed plant. I
Uh-huh.
don't know what the name is. So this guy had posted a photo of his dirty boots, like mud dirty boots, and behind it was the plant that looks like a weed
so they
plant.
thought
Oh.
he's
So
planting.
DCI commented. So the boots signify this one is just from robbing someone. Like, why would you have muddy boots at a time? Yeah. And there's a weed plant behind, and then DCI, the person was behind their social media was like, send us your location.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So the
They
DCI
are
has like a
hilarious.
sense of
They're
humor in
very
their Twitter account.
They are
hilarious.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually worth
Okay.
following.
They can comment on this podcast about my license situation. My license situation. Daisy's sister thought that delivering that letter to Chappelle directly was like super creepy. Do you think so? I didn't think so.
Yeah.
David,
You know, back in
what's
the
your
old
relationship
days,
with-
like when a band would come to town, like this pre-internet where you can send DMs, their hotel would be overwhelmed with fan letters that would like basically send letters to the Hilton.
It felt
So
like
it's 2024, so nobody does it. He had 1,000 people in his DM to come
And then you
meet them in Kenya,
handwritten.
and then we had Daisy's handwritten letter.
It's not a Kenyan thing. That's what I thought. I was like, have you ever... I had to call Daisy twice
Yeah.
to ask her, what is this I'm
Have you, ever,
delivering?
have you ever heard of anything like this?
It was my
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah?
Fan mail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fan
And
mail.
she kept repeating
Yeah.
it. It's a fan mail. I was
It's
like,
fan
okay.
mail.
So I kept singing
Back in
fan
the day,
mail.
you'd write a letter.
mail.
This is normal.
Fan mail.
This is normal.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. Well, it's creepy would be trying to trying to get into
Scaling the
their
side of the
room.
Kempinski. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
But respectfully, like just dropping
it's a fan letter.
like an enveloped document.
What
at
was the
their-
content
at
of the
lobby.
of the
Oh, that was
envelope?
fun.
It was
a
Daisy
cute
just being
envelope.
gangster. It was Daisy just having a powerful dream that Dave's going to join the podcast. It wasn't
Maybe-
we kindly invite you. It was like, be here tomorrow
Yeah,
at this
nice.
place on
We
Monrovia
have sent you
Street
a
in
map.
town. Here's the map.
Yeah, if you
Text
get lost
me. Make sure you
callers,
put the 254 in front of the thing.
very strict
and
instructions.
we'll see you.
Oh.
And she also sent an autographed copy of a picture of the three of us.
Ooh.
This girl's having a very powerful dream.
Thank you, Daisy.
So we.
But my dream is not dead. Is yours dead?
He's still around.
One
He's
day,
probably
one
on safari.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
That's
coming
okay.
back in
In the
November,
Masai
by the
Mara.
way.
That's what I heard.
You
yeah.
heard? Yeah. he's
Yeah.
Oh,
coming
no,
back
I
in-
haven't.
Well, that's
So
what
we
he
need to-
apparently said that at the show because some
Yeah.
people tweeted it or something that who might
Yeah.
have been there.
Oh yeah. So does anyone have the lowdown on what went down on the show? Like,
Don't
I
know.
mean,
They were being given something called a yondra.
A what?
A yondra.
Yandra, what's that?
YONDRR.
Yandra, I don't know
Oh,
what that
okay,
is.
okay,
What
okay,
is
okay.
that?
The pouch
A
where you
pouch
put your phone in.
Oh, so
and
you
it's
can't-
locked outside. So when I arrived,
Right. So
they
you
asked
can't.
me for my badge. They asked me for my card, my
And
like,
you go through a metal
my
detector?
payment.
Oh, so you got that
and-
far. Huh?
Yeah, no, it
Good
was
for
just an
you.
open space. It's just
Yeah.
people who like listening to art and they're chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, they asked me for my ticket and my phone.
And you didn't have a ticket?
I was like, no, I don't have a ticket, so I had to buy a beer on the stand as I wait
Perfect.
for my guy to
See,
come.
this is why we sent you.
So I bought a beer
This is why we
and
sent
chilled
Sharon.
and bought a burger and chilled
Yeah.
until my friend
With your
came.
letter.
And I was like, I owe you a bottle of whiskey. Just hold to this. Let it land in the
So
next
how
one.
did you? How
I knew
has your
you-
friend told you how they delivered the letter?
Just an agent.
Oh,
Okay,
gave
so
it
it
to an
might have
agent.
never
Yeah.
gotten to him.
Okay.
And they have
It's a
no,
good chance it's not
yeah,
gotten
and
to
they
him,
also
so.
have no, like they have no memory of that show because your phone is locked.
They have no memory of that show.
But memories
Do you
stay
remember?
here.
Do you know
not
the memory?
Here.
There was a thing called memory before the microchip.
Yeah.
Are you familiar? Yeah. You
I
know,
was so.
Tell
I
you
was
what,
like, wait,
guys.
What?
You
Are
know,
they,
like-
were they so drunk?
you know, like the
I was
notes.
so confused. Like, did
You have
Dave,
iPhone, right? Like you know the
Yes.
notes. Well, we used to have mental notes back in the day. There's no memory of the show.
Tell you what.
What
if
about
I
the
have
people
no
that saw it?
photograph, if you have no photo,
See, this
it did
is the
not
difference between show. Yes, right. Like
If I
this is
have
if
no
you go to
photo,
a
it
restaurant
did
Oh,
and
it
you,
did happen?
No,
this
it
is
did
like
not.
if she doesn't go to if she goes to a restaurant and eats a nice meal,
I
but there's
have.
no Instagram, then
No,
it doesn't
you
matter. You
no,
didn't
I
eat that
go
meal.
there. I don't know that place.
They have no
Never.
memories.
There's no memory of it. There's no record.
Like for
There's
2
no
seconds
record.
right there, I was like, what? Did they like wipe their memories out? Like I was
What
like,
sort
I was
of black
I-
magic would that be?
like, what? That's
Yeah.
intense. Like surely they can't be protecting jokes that much.
Yeah,
Oh.
but he probably like they do that because like they work out their new material, like stuff that he'll
Yeah,
put on the
that's
next
the part
Netflix
that-
special.
now
And
that's
he's
the
trying to
kind
see
of-
if stuff works, if people laugh or it bombs, and like he probably also is measuring an international audience. Like, does this resonate with these guys
Now
too?
that's the
But
kind
why-
of conversation I would have
But
wanted
why
to
not
have.
have people take pictures? What's that about?
No, it's just they don't want anybody recording and releasing the jokes online because he's
Yeah.
trying them out for his next Netflix special, right? Like he has to, like
Who is trying him out? Because he was
He-
just brought.
He is trying.
he's okay.
trying out his
He was
material.
brought here to do a show, a real show,
Oh,
like
he's trying his own material.
exactly like he's he wants to do a great show for the audience as
Yeah.
well, but he's working out new material that
Yeah.
like would be in his next special to see if people laugh at it. Some stuff he's done before, other stuff he's just trying for the first time. No laughs. Okay, I won't do that.
But
I'll
in
twist.
other
I'll tweak it a
scenarios,
bit.
they allow phones.
Not many.
A
Like
lot of
even with the
a lot of
Kevin
comedians
Hart,
don't
like
like
even
it.
Kevin Hart in South Africa, they did the same
Yeah,
thing.
a
Like,
lot
you
of
had to
comedians
lock
don't
your
like it
phone.
because like
Yeah.
these days, because like it's different from music because like it's not like if you've heard the song on the radio then you won't go see it live. But if you've heard the joke like on a podcast, you don't want to go pay and see the guy do that same joke. I already heard that joke. Do you know what I mean? Do you
Yeah,
agree? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Is
No.
that right? Do I have it right?
I don't know. I
do
mean,
you think
if
the
you,
reason-
if you
what
had
do
the
you think the
opportunity,
reason is?
if you had the opportunity, like we've seen specials, and most of the I think the way they work is most of the material like it's recycled, something that got really good.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if it makes it to a special, they don't use it. They don't use it again, like something that's gonna be released.
Right. Yeah.
But
they won't use it again.
They won't use it again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because people have already seen it. Like the surprise is gone. You know the punchline that's
Oh,
coming.
the punchline, like
you know
it's
the punchline.
whole
Yeah,
thing about
exactly.
comedy.
It's the surprise, right?
Now that's the thing. That's the kind of thing. Like the mechanics of comedy is what I would have been interested in, like having a conversation with him about. Like how does it work? Like especially how do you practice not being funny, but the delivery? Like how do you do you stand in front of a mirror? Do you have an audience
haven't
like
you
them?
like? I mean, this like seems familiar. Haven't you given the same presentation at work many times over to different audiences, and you tweak it each time based on like they didn't seem to get it what I said here, and I moved this here. Haven't you done that? Like I think he's just doing the same thing. So last week we talked about that American dentist who shot that lion.
Uh-huh.
Do you know the story? He's from Minnesota, which is where I'm from. That's why I bring it up.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when we were talking about it, like I was talking about American, like we said it's gonna be Afrikaners, but the
who
big
shot the
stories,
elephants? Yeah, that
the
was
big
American.
story.
Do you know this story?
No.
This dude. Why don't you tell the story?
Okay. No. Well, this recreational game hunter, which is a concept that is very interesting to me. Like why? He's a dentist, and for fun he likes to hunt. And so these countries, like you talked about culling animals that have
Zimbabwe's
like to
one.
control population,
Yeah.
they sell licenses
Right.
So they have like 20,000 license. I think that's what we were talking about last time.
Well, last time we were talking about like Botswana actually having, I think, an elephant overpopulation problem.
Oh,
This thing where they
You've seen my
this thing where they shoot a lion. This is just the country selling the license to raise cash. Like it's not like they have too many lions.
it's tourism.
Yeah,
oh
it's
wait,
tourism.
what? It's not to control the lion population.
I don't believe so. I might be wrong. I think this guy would have paid like $50,000 for the
they are
privilege
bloody expensive.
to
Those
kill a
the
lion.
game licenses.
What's that? 5 million, 7 million shillings.
I don't know how much.
So to shoot
I've not
that
looked
lion.
into it.
Like
I'm
he
not
paid
into
it as
it.
part of his safari.
in my life.
So, but I think the uproar became like this guy actually hunted a lion that was of interest to like that was of interest to like Oxford was running a long-term study on the lion.
Oh yeah, he accidentally killed a famous lion.
Yeah, he actually like a
Because
lion
he
of
had the
interest.
licensed a lion of interest.
Oh.
He- a lion of note. Did the lion have a Wikipedia entry before it was
Well, suddenly does
before it
now.
was murdered by a
Suddenly
Minnesotan
does now.
dentist?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they justify these ones, I think, on these grounds of like the money goes supposedly for like conservation of like the habitats.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing to be like, because that's how the guy makes it seem normal, right? He's paying the 50,000, but to his friends back in Minnesota, it's like, listen, it's a huge donation to wildlife conservation. So like, more lions are saved than the one I'm going to kill, which is a really interesting approach. Like, I want to take that to other charitable causes and be like, I'm going to make a $50,000 donation to the American Cancer Society, but I just want to kill one cancer patient. Okay, that joke bombed. So
Yeah,
even
that
Daisy's not
bombed.
laughing, and she's on the payroll. She's paid to laugh. See, this is what Dave Chappelle has. That was my little joke. I had rehearsed it in my head before I showed
so
up
now
here.
now
It
you know it's not
bombed.
gonna work.
It's not gonna play unless the comments point in the comments if you love that joke. Give me a little heart
Okay,
emoji.
actually, let's talk about that. Like, you are serious about wanting to be a stand-up comedian, like for your
Who
retirement.
wants to be a stand-up comedian? You?
Not as like a profession.
Oh.
I'd like to try it. It seems thrilling. Like just get up there with a microphone. That's crazy. Like you don't
But
know how
you're
to play any
always up there with
instruments.
a microphone.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't seem so
But
crazy. Like it's not that different from
Like,
what
it's
I'm
not
doing
new.
right now.
Yeah, it's
like
not
what,
new.
What we're doing right now.
So what's the
Yeah.
appeal like with comedy?
I don't know. It's just like the way when people laugh at my jokes, I feel loved. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I do. I like. Stop it, you guys.
Do you want a hug?
You know, I watched last week's podcast, and that was like I didn't emphasize how sweet. Like the bucket list for you in America wasn't like take me to New York. I'd love to see it. It was to come see Minnesota. That was a very
Yeah.
sweet thing to say.
Yeah.
I didn't give you enough credit, wasn't it?
You'd have
Aw.
extended the...
Like if you asked me my bucket list, I wouldn't be like I want to like spend a weekend in Rongo. I would love to, but I wouldn't have thought of it because I'm not as thoughtful as you.
Okay,
No,
actually,
that's
now
the
on that
point.
note-
I would
on
love
that
to come
note,
to
the next
Rongo.
podcast is being recorded in Rongo.
Okay,
Yes.
let's do it. I'm up for
Okay.
it.
Rongo is
We got the
so
equipment?
In
beautiful.
You got
the
the
middle
studio?
of a market.
Yeah,
Rongo is so beautiful.
is it really?
It's,
Yeah.
I
What's
think
beautiful
it's,
about
I
it?
think it's the time that we went.
Jaber
Jaber
Nyarongo.
Nyarongo.
Yeah. Do you know what
Yeah.
that means?
Beautiful woman of Rongo. Yeah,
Yes.
Daughter of Rongo?
daughter.
Jaber Nyarongo. Nyar
Jaber
is daughter of
Nyarongo.
Rongo.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know whether it's the time we went. Like, it was just lush and green and chill. Like, it's just silent.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like
Beautiful
everybody
place.
like shh. And then just you just it's so nice. And
Yeah.
then I just love it so
Is
much.
it
Like, I'm
The place
looking
looks
for an
beautiful.
opportunity to go
Rongo.
back to
Yeah.
Rongo again. Hopefully not
Yeah.
back
Book
in August.
the Rongo. Is there a Serena? Like a book the Rongo
What's
Serena
the dingiest place you've ever stayed at, like
Yeah.
hotel type
in
thing?
Kenya?
Yeah.
Well, sure, fine.
Well, there was a place I stayed at when I was a backpacker that was like off Tom and Boya. That was like the equivalent of like
Of what?
$3 a night.
Of what? I didn't hear that either.
Can somebody else say the name
No,
of the
please.
streets in our producer's laughing at me. She's not supposed to do. She's supposed to laugh at my jokes, not at me.
Tom,
Of
what?
You know, back there by
Oh, you know,
Magomano
actually-
restaurant.
You know, actually didn't hear it
What's the
for
name?
real.
What's the name of the street?
Tomboya.
Tom Boya. That's what I said.
That's
Uh-huh.
okay.
Okay, sorry,
Why
sorry.
are we
Yeah, you were
laughing?
saying.
Tom and Boya.
Okay, fine,
I
fine,
don't
fine.
believe in silent letters.
Okay, go ahead. You stayed off a joint of
Oh, Tom
when you were
Boya.
backpacking.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like one of these kind of cement floors, little kind of mattress, and like they'd bring like a bucket, and there was a drain.
Did you get these the red slippers like with the fish cut in the front?
Yeah, so you don't steal them.
So you don't
Yeah. With the
That
mouth.
is the
I'm gonna
most
take my
fish.
flip flops and I'm gonna go start a new life in Uganda with my
with your
flip-flops.
fish flip flop. That was
Yeah.
so cool.
Exactly.
Come on.
Just gonna run for the hills. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of Magomano,
Yes.
um,
This is a Kikuyu, old school Kikuyu restaurant in town that we
Yeah.
enjoy for their, what's the name of the dish?
Tumbukiza.
Tumbukiza.
Yeah.
So good.
What's your fascination with Magomano?
That soup is like, it's worth the trip just for that thing, that little tin mug they give you
Yeah.
with
Oh,
like
the
this, the
Yeah.
part like of the stew. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
delicious.
like,
Yeah.
Don't eat it with the meat. Eat it separate.
Like on its
drink
own?
Yeah,
it.
you just like drink it.
I
It's just
love
really
like you even reach
nourishing.
for the extra like cups and I'm like,
Yeah.
are you gonna
Yeah, you can have
Are you
that.
gonna
You
have
can eat that. Yeah.
you gonna have that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tumbukiza.
Tumbukiza.
Yeah.
It's
They
good
just put
though.
everything together in a pot, water, and boil.
It's something you knew before we went to Magamana?
Yes,
You know
yes.
it's
Yeah,
famous
yeah.
Kikuyu
Yeah,
cuisine,
it's
yeah?
famous,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it even Kikuyu
not a
anymore right
Kikuyu.
now? Like is
Yeah.
it like it's
I like the
referred to
potatoes in the
Kikuyu,
Kikuyu.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I like the-
mostly
yeah.
thought as a Kikuyu thing because
because of the waru
potatoes
and the
Yeah.
and
matoke.
spinach.
I like
Yes,
the
and
minjis too.
matoke.
Yeah.
You like minji?
Yeah.
You know, like the reason. So when the office was in town, like Chad was like, "Oh no, I love the office being in town. Like
What,
you
nation,
can,
when we were at Nation Center?
yeah, like you can drop by. You can drop by.
Magamana.
No, you can drop by like downtown Nairobi. You can pop into the tailor, then you can go blah blah blah.
You get
Then I
a
was
watch
like,
battery.
hold my beer. And
Yeah.
then I
Let's
took you guys.
go,
I took you
let's
guys
go.
To
downtown, and
Oh,
I,
that
I,
was-
And that place
Good.
is downtown.
How
that
did you
place
know
is
about it?
downtown. So my first job, okay, actually it was rather an internship.
Okay.
So I was working for this bank, and then for like close when we were leaving, they were like, "Oh yeah, let's go buy you guys lunch." That was the first time I even like walked into, and actually the second time I went there was the time when we went with you guys.
Yeah.
Together, yeah.
So and then they were just like they took us out for lunch, and I was like, "This is the one of the strangest place I've been in."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when Chad was like, "I want to go downtown. I want to," I was like, "Hold my beer. I'm
That
gonna
place,
show you downtown."
It's way downtown. Even so much that like the people
It's
around.
not even downtown. Like that
Yeah.
is pretty
Just-
much.
yeah.
That is like. Do you want to go downtown? Okay, now that sounded nasty.
And you can and you can stay there. Like there's signs that's like rooms. There's rooms.
Nikole
Yeah.
rumu,
I,
pana
like,
rumu.
I love Tumbukiza, but I don't know if I want to stay. Do I have to stay there? Like,
It would be a good experience.
I
to
would.
stay
One night I'm staying at Magamana.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe we should have a company
Oh, no, thanks.
offsite there or something like that.
I'd
yeah?
like to.
Strategy session, podcast.
Only that I would be
more
so
meeting.
entertained with the street noise that I would
Yeah.
never get to sleep because it's just either vehicle passing by
I
or
think I'd walk out and cross over
music.
into the first world section of town.
They closed down like a
Moi
Nairobi
Avenue?
staple though.
Which one?
SJ.
What's
what
that
does
say?
SD stand
That's
for?
all I'm gonna say.
Oh, really?
If you know, you know.
Oh, is this like a secret niche interest place? Google it. At home. SJ town. Oh, Sabina Joy.
Yes.
Oh,
I know it.
See who got it first.
I know it. It
must have been the
closed.
guy.
Yeah.
Shame, I never went there. I was terrified to go. I think I was
also
invited, but
Yeah?
yeah. No
I'd
thanks.
have loved to go there
I
for
had
an
And what's the other one?
anthropological
Lido's
study.
is the other one, or
Was it like a
is there another
club,
one? Yeah.
Well,
a joint?
well.
Yeah, like a strip club.
I know the other
Well,
side.
what?
It was a strip club.
No,
was
it
not?
wasn't.
No,
Was it?
it's just a
Streets.
pub with rooms.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's
I gotcha.
no strip.
Also,
No
there's no
street.
bar,
Oh,
there's
okay.
no nothing.
There is
There's
a bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
where the activities begin.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where the commerce.
Oh, I see.
That's
okay.
where the pitch,
Yeah.
the investor pitch is done.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the elevator pitch.
I see.
The full stops are done at the SJ
You
itself.
can go. I'll take my hat off and like pay my respects. I never.
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big loss to the city.
And that's Baada ya Kazi.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
I guess we're done.